February 1981. Luther Vandross stepped into the spotlight with a voice that sounded like silk wrapped in honey. Frankie Smith turned playground slang into a #1 hit that Snoop Dogg still uses today.
I just don't wanna stop. Too much, never too much, never.
Between those two extremes lived 12 tracks that completely rewrote the rules of soul music.
I want to share all my love.
By the end of this countdown, you'll discover stories behind songs that dominated your parents' turntables and still shake the walls at family reunions. Hit that subscribe button to stay connected with retro vinyl, because soul this good deserves to be remembered. Number 12, Double Dutch Bus, Frankie Smith.
Let me show you how I walk when I gotta do my funky walk.
Philadelphia songwriter Frankie Smith was broke. His mother's health was failing. She was exhausted from shift work at the Naval Hospital Commissary, and he'd just been rejected for a bus driver job. Smith had been writing hits for the OJs and Billy Paul at Philadelphia International Records until a federal payola investigation shut the label down temporarily. Now he was circling security guard positions in the Help Wanted ads. Through his living room window, he heard neighborhood girls jumping rope with intricate rhythms, chanting in Double Dutch. The sound triggered something. Smith convinced WMOT Records to give him leftover studio time at the end of Fat Larry's band session. They recorded a drum track in week 1, keyboards in week 2, bass in week 3. Each piece built slowly because nobody believed in the project. Smith recorded his rap at 2 o'clock in the morning. That groggy, froggy vocal flavor you hear wasn't planned. It was pure exhaustion. Then he did something nobody expected. He drove to an actual Philadelphia bus terminal and recorded a real bus horn. Back in the studio, he brought in neighborhood kids to add Pig Latin slang, placing "is" in the middle of words. The label wanted the B-side instead. WMOT showed zero enthusiasm, did nothing to promote it, so Smith loaded his Thunderbird trunk with hundreds of copies and drove up and down the East Coast. College radio stations, dance clubs, mobile DJs, commercial stations, anywhere that would let him through the door. Number 11, Just the Two of Us, Grover Washington Jr., featuring Bill Withers *, Ralph McDonald, and William Salter.
To make those rainbows in my mind when I
wrote an instrumental track. Beautiful chord progression, sophisticated jazz arrangement, but something was missing. They needed a vocalist who could elevate it beyond background music. They called Bill Withers, the man behind Lean on Me and Ain't No Sunshine. Withers listened to their demo. Then he said something that changed everything. "I'm a little snobbish about words. If you'll let me go in and dress these words up a little bit, I'll sing it." Withers threw out their original lyrics. He added poetry, crystal raindrops, metaphors that felt like whispered secrets. He put a tuxedo on that instrumental. Grover Washington Jr.'s saxophone wrapped around Withers' vocals like velvet. H. Richard T. played that mesmerizing Fender Rhodes electric piano throughout.
just the two of us building them castles in the sky.
Steve Gadd's drums stayed subtle, never overwhelming. The 12-inch version included a steel drum solo that added tropical warmth. Every element breathed together, giving each other space. Released in February 1981 on Elektra Records, Just the Two of Us climbed to number 2 on the Hot 100, where it stayed for 3 weeks.
On the window down the hall, and it becomes the morning.
Blocked from number 1 first by Sheena Easton's Morning Train, then by Kim Carnes' Bet Davis Eyes. But it won the Grammy for Best R&B Song. It became the soundtrack to quiet Sunday mornings, late-night slow dances, moments when words weren't necessary.
Building big castles way on high, just the two.
Bill Withers would retire from music in 1985, frustrated with record label control. Just the Two of Us became one of his final artistic statements. Grover Washington Jr. died in 1999, But their collaboration outlasted them both. Will Smith turned it into a father-son anthem. Eminem sampled it. Tupac sampled it. The song became proof that jazz belonged on pop radio. Number 10, Being With You. Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson wanted to thank Kim Carnes. She'd recorded his song More Love with producer George Tobin, and it became a hit. So Smokey wrote Being With You specifically for her voice. That slightly gravelly texture she had. He walked into the studio to hand it to George Tobin. Tobin listened to Smokey's demo. Then he said something shocking. "Forget about Kim Carnes. I want to record you singing it." Right there, that moment, Tobin convinced one of Motown's greatest producers to let someone else produce him. Smokey Robinson, who'd produced countless Miracles hits, had never been produced as a solo artist. They started recording that night. Studio sound recorders in North Hollywood, 2 sessions, finished the next day. Engineer Howard Wolin stopped takes mid-session to correct tiny pitch issues. Smokey's wife Claudette Robinson sang background vocals, one of her most significant contributions to his solo work. Robert John, who'd had a #1 hit with Sad Eyes, also sang backing vocals. The song climbed to number 2 on the Hot 100, held out of the top spot by Bette Davis Eyes. The irony? Kim Carnes, the woman Smokey originally wrote it for, kept him from number 1. But Being With You became Smokey's highest charting solo hit. #1 R&B for 5 straight weeks. #1 in the UK for 2 weeks. Berry Gordy at Motown initially thought it wouldn't do well. When it started climbing, he threw massive promotion behind it. The song rescued both Smokey's career and Motown's balance sheet when the label desperately needed hits. Number 9, Endless Love. Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. Director Franco Zeffirelli needed an instrumental theme for his Brooke Shields film, Endless Love. He contacted Lionel Richie, still a Commodore at that point, asking for something like the love story theme. Richie agreed. Then Zeffirelli changed his mind. Add lyrics. Make it a duet. Get Diana Ross. Richie was terrified. Diana Ross is the top of the food chain, and I've never written a duet before in my life. Diana had just left Motown for RCA, but a deal was struck. Motown would release the single. The problem? Getting them in the same room. Richie was in Los Angeles working with Kenny Rogers and the Commodores. Diana's schedule wouldn't allow LA studio time. They compromised. Diana performed 2 shows at Lake Tahoe on May 7, 1981. After her final show at 1 a.m., she drove to a recording studio in Reno. Lionel flew in from Los Angeles after finishing his own session. They started singing at 3:30 in the morning. By 5 o'clock, they had Endless Love on tape. Less than 2 hours, barely awake, 1 take. Diana later admitted the working relationship was difficult. "I am a perfectionist. I like to be on time always." Lionel was not always on time, but the results spoke volumes. The song hit #1 on August 15, 1981, and stayed there for 9 consecutive weeks. Longer than any other Motown single to that point. It topped R&B for 7 weeks, adult contemporary for 3. Over 3 million copies sold. 5 Grammy nominations, including Record of the Year. The film flopped. The song became immortal. It earned Oscar and Golden Globe nominations. Diana and Lionel performed it at the 1982 Academy Awards. For Diana Ross, it became her 6th and final solo #1 hit. For Lionel Richie, it launched his solo career and proved he could step out of the Commodore's shadow. Number 8, Never Too Much. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross spent the 70s invisible, a background vocalist for everyone. David Bowie's Young Americans sessions, Roberta Flack, Chic, Bette Midler. commercial jingles for Burger King and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Those jingles paid the bills and funded his dream. He was writing songs, crafting arrangements, waiting for his moment.
Any hour, day or night that I don't love you, you're
Roberta Flack told him he was getting too comfortable. "You're an incredible talent who deserves to be heard." In 1980, Luther sang lead vocals for the studio group Change on The Glow of Love and Searching. People started asking who that voice was. Epic Records took notice.
a million days in your
Luther wrote Never Too Much and produced it himself. Media Sound Studios in New York City, April through July 1981, all recorded in 3 months. He hired the best, Marcus Miller on bass, Nat Adderley Jr. on keyboards, Buddy Williams on drums. Luther controlled everything: arrangements, vocals, production, background harmonies. He sang every background part himself, layering vocals until they sounded like a choir.
head. I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you open.
That opening piano riff sounds like pure joy in musical form. When Luther's voice comes in, smooth as butter, rich as velvet, you believe every word. The song is about obsession, about loving someone so much it affects your job performance. The gender is never specified. Luther kept his personal life private, but the emotion, that was naked and honest. Released in October 1981, Never Too Much hit #1 R&B and sat there for 2 weeks. Number 33 pop. The album went double platinum. Luther earned 2 Grammy nominations, Best New Artist and Best R&B Vocal Performance Male. He was 40 years old, finally getting recognized for the talent everyone had been using for years. Number 7, Let's Groove, Earth, Wind and Fire. Earth, Wind and Fire dominated the 70s. September, Shining Star, Boogie Wonderland, cosmic funk, spiritual themes, pyramids, and impossibly tight horn sections. But by 1980, disco was dying. The Bee Gees were getting booed. Studio 54 was closing. Maurice White knew they needed to evolve. White brought in guitarist Roland Bautista and started writing with Wayne Vaughn and his wife Wanda Vaughn from The Emotions. They embraced the emerging electronic sound, synthesizers, vocoders, robotic vocal effects. Let's Groove started with that vocoder riff, Maurice White's voice processed through technology, warm despite sounding mechanical. The production was phenomenal. Recorded at George Massenburg's studio in West Los Angeles and Sunset Sound in Hollywood. Maurice White produced under his Kalimba Productions banner. The mix was tight and punchy, every instrument crisp. The horn section supplied by the Brecker brothers screamed like cars running red lights. The bass line was deep and brawny, impossible to ignore. The music video became historic. First video ever played on BET's Video Soul. Directed by Ron Hayes using the Scanimate analog computer system, vintage electronic effects that looked futuristic. The band synchronized dance moves and coordinated outfits, colorful lights, analog graphics. When MTV launched in August 1981, Let's Groove was in heavy rotation. Released in November 1981, the song hit #3 pop, but dominated R&B at #1 for 8 straight weeks. It sold over 1 million copies, certified gold then platinum in the UK. NME ranked at number 16 on their Singles of the Year list. The song proved Earth, Wind and Fire could adapt, blend live instrumentation with electronics, keep the groove alive in a new decade. Number 6, A Woman Needs Love Just Like You Do. Ray Parker Jr. and Radio.
Be accepted by the women of.
Ray Parker Jr. was already a guitar legend. Session work for Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye. As a teenager, he played in Honeycomb's band. By 1977, he formed Radio, scoring hits like Jack and Jill and You Can't Change That. But A Woman Needs Love was different. This was a message. The song sounds like silk, smooth, warm, inviting. But listen to the lyrics. Parker is calling out every man who thinks he can neglect his woman and expect her to stay faithful. You work all day, come home and want to put your feet up, ignoring her needs. It's a wake-up call dressed as a slow jam. Revolutionary for 1981.
You remember if you can do it.
Produced by Ray Parker Jr. himself on Arista Records, the song featured that signature guitar lick weaving through verses, playful but pointed, never letting the message get lost in the sweetness. The arrangement stayed minimal, letting Parker's vocals and the warning land with full impact.
Don't kid yourself into thinking that she don't.
Released in early 1981, A Woman Needs Love climbed to #1 R&B, where it stayed for 2 weeks. #4 Pop. It crossed over effortlessly because the message resonated universally. Men needed to hear it. Women had been saying it for years. Parker gave them an anthem.
Make the mistake of thinking old-fashioned.
The song's impact lasted. Hip-hop would sample it repeatedly. Parker would go on to write Ghostbusters in 1984, his biggest pop hit. But A Woman Needs Love remained his most important artistic statement, proof that R&B could entertain and educate simultaneously. #5, I'm in Love. Evelyn Champagne. Evelyn King started young, discovered at 16 working at Philadelphia International Records as an office cleaner. Producer Theodore Life heard her singing in a bathroom, where the acoustics made her voice echo beautifully. He rushed her into the studio. By 1978, she had her first hit, Shame, at 17 years old. But I'm in Love showcased her evolution. No longer a teenage disco singer, Evelyn at 21 brought sophistication and power. The song was written and produced by Kashif, a young producer making his mark. He crafted a track that balanced dance energy with emotional depth. RCA Records released it in June 1981. The production was immaculate, layered synthesizers, programmed drums that hit like thunder, Evelyn's voice soaring over everything. She belted notes with confidence, showing technical skill far beyond her years. The song felt contemporary, futuristic, perfectly timed for where R&B was heading. I'm in Love exploded. #1 dance for weeks. #1 R&B. #40 pop. Crossover success without compromising the core sound. Evelyn proved she wasn't a one-hit wonder teen sensation. She was a serious artist with staying power. The song influenced an entire generation of R&B singers. Janet Jackson studied Evelyn's vocal runs. Paula Abdul choreographed dances to this track. Kashif's production style became a blueprint for 80s R&B. Evelyn King deserved every bit of success this song brought her. #4, Celebration. Kool and the Gang.
Good time tonight. Let's celebrate.
Kool and the Gang had been grinding since 1964. 17 years of jazz funk, instrumental grooves, moderate success, but never the breakthrough. By 1980, they'd gone through lineup changes, sound shifts, near breakups. Then James J.T. Taylor joined as lead vocalist, and producer Ymer Deodato pushed them toward a more accessible sound.
Let's celebrate. It's all
Celebration came from a brainstorming session. The band wanted to write about good times, parties, life's victories. Ronald Bell wrote lyrics about celebrating the good times in our lives. Simple concept, but the execution was genius. That opening bass line by Robert Kool Bell became instantly recognizable. The horns punched through like exclamation points. J.T. Taylor's vocals invited everyone to the party. Records released Celebration in late 1980, but it dominated 1981. #1 pop for 2 weeks in February, #1 R&B for 6 weeks. It became the soundtrack to American joy, played at weddings, sports victories, New Year's Eve parties, anywhere people gathered to celebrate anything.
It's a celebration.
The timing was perfect. America needed optimism. The hostage crisis in Iran had just ended. Ronald Reagan's inauguration brought a new political era. Celebration became the unofficial anthem of relief and hope. When the song played at Super Bowl 15, it cemented its place in cultural history. Kool and the Gang finally had their massive crossover hit. The song has been featured in countless films, commercials, TV shows. It's been played at more weddings than any song except maybe We Are Family. 40+ years later, those opening notes still get people moving. Number 3, Fantastic Voyage. Lakeside came from Dayton, Ohio, a funk band grinding through the 70s with moderate regional success. They'd released 5 albums on Solar Records with producer Dick Griffey, but national breakthrough remained elusive. Everything changed when they wrote Fantastic Voyage. The song started with that infectious synthesizer line, bouncy and hypnotic. Mark Wood's bass line locked into a pocket so deep you could fall inside it. The production by Solar Records' in-house team captured that early 80s funk fusion perfectly. Electronic elements mixed with live instrumentation, creating a sound that felt both futuristic and grounded. Lead vocalist Mark Wood delivered the lyrics with smoothness and swagger. The song was about taking a musical journey, on inviting listeners to come along for the ride. The metaphor worked because the music itself felt like a voyage. Unexpected stops, smooth transitions, constant forward momentum. Released in early 1981, Fantastic Voyage became Lakeside's signature song. Number 1 R&B for 3 weeks, becoming their first chart topper. Number 55 Pop, proving the sound was more R&B specific but dominant within its lane. The extended 12-inch version became a staple at roller rinks and block parties. Hip-hop would later embrace Fantastic Voyage with reverence. Coolio sampled it in 1994 for his own Fantastic Voyage, introducing the track to a new generation. The original remained a touchstone, proof that Midwestern funk bands could compete with coastal powerhouses. Number 2, Don't Stop the Music. Yarbrough and Peoples.
Don't stop the music.
Yarbrough and Elisa Peoples met at a Dallas talent show. Both were singers, both had ambition, both understood harmonies instinctively. They formed a duo, got signed to Mercury Records, and started working with producer Lonnie Simmons at Total Experience Records. Don't Stop the Music showcased their chemistry immediately. The call and response vocals, Cavan's smooth baritone dancing with Elisa's crystalline soprano. The production featured that early 80s synthesizer sound, programmed drums, funky bass lines. But the real magic was in their vocal interplay, finishing each other's phrases, harmonizing effortlessly. Mercury Records released it in March 1981. The song was an invitation to keep the party going, keep the groove alive. Don't let the moment end. And our radio programmers loved it. Club DJs wore out the 12-inch pressing. Dancers memorized every breakdown. The song hit number 1 R&B in April 1981, where it stayed for 3 weeks, their first and only chart topper. Number 19 Pop, respectable crossover success. The album went gold. Yarbrough and Peoples became fixtures on Soul Train, their synchronized dance moves matching their vocal precision. Although they'd have other hits like Heartbeats and I Wouldn't Lie, Don't Stop the Music remained their signature. The song captured that specific moment when R&B was transitioning from disco's excess to funk's electronic future. Yarbrough and Peoples rode that wave perfectly. Number 1, A Fantastic Voyage. Lakeside.
Come along, pack your bag.
Wait, we already covered that? No. The real number 1, the song that outlasted everything else from 1981, despite not hitting number 1 pop. The track still played at family reunions, barbecues, and every old school gathering needs its own spotlight. Actually, the true number one based on lasting cultural impact, radio airplay decades later, and pure undeniable groove is Let's Groove by Earth, Wind & Fire. But here's what makes 1981 special. There is no definitive number one. Every song on this list earned its place through different metrics. Endless Love spent the most weeks at number one. Celebration became the most culturally ubiquitous. Never Too Much launched the greatest R&B vocalist of the decade. Double Dutch Bus created a language. Just the Two of Us won the Songwriting Grammy. Each song represents excellence in its own lane. 1981 was the year R&B evolved. Synthesizers entered the conversation without killing the soul. Vocalists like Luther proved background singers could become superstars. Duets like Diana and Lionel showed emotion transcended genre. Funk bands like Lakeside and Kool and the Gang made celebration an art form. These 12 songs weren't just hits. They were cultural moments, technological innovations, artistic statements. They proved black music could be commercially successful without compromising authenticity. They influenced hip-hop, contemporary R&B, and popular music for generations. So there's your number one, all of them. Every song, every story, every artist who refused to be invisible, who created despite obstacles, who gave us music that still moves us today.
Unless you give her all the
Every artist on this list faced rejection, doubt, and years of invisibility before 1981 gave them their moment. Luther spent 2 decades in the background. Frankie Smith drove up and down the East Coast alone with a trunk full of records nobody wanted. Kool and the Gang ground through 17 years before everything clicked.
And your laughter too. We gon' celebrate.
But they kept going. And because they did, we got 12 songs that still hit different 4 decades later. That's the real lesson of 1981. Keep showing up, keep creating, trust the music to find its people. It found them, it found you, and here we both are. If these stories moved you, hit that like button right now and subscribe to Retro Vinyl so you never miss a deep dive into the stories behind the songs that shaped us. Drop your favorite 1981 R&B track in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, keep the needle on the record and the volume where it belongs.